You arrive in a great American city, maybe New York, Los Angeles, or Chicago. The city stretches out before you, a testament to human ambition and ingenuity, its towers reaching for the sky. The air buzzes with possibility, and for a moment it feels like anything is possible here. The skyline glitters, the streets pulse with energy, and the world sees a nation of power and promise. People from all over the globe dream of making it here, drawn by the bright lights and the hope of a better life. The city never seems to sleep, and opportunity appears to be everywhere you look. But beneath those skyscrapers, another America exists. On sidewalks, under overpasses, in makeshift encampments hidden in plain sight. Here, the city's energy fades into the background, replaced by the quiet struggle of those left behind. Here, families sleep in cars, older citizens find themselves homeless for the first time, and the dream has faded into daily survival. Children do their homework by flashlight, parents worry about the next meal, and hope is a fragile thing. This is the America that doesn't make it into travel brochures, a nation facing a growing crisis of homelessness. For many, the promise of prosperity has been replaced by the reality of hardship, and the gap between rich and poor grows wider every day. The two Americas now collide in plain sight, a person sleeping on cardboard outside a five-star hotel, a mother and children asking for help near a bustling restaurant. The contrast is impossible to ignore, a daily reminder of the inequality woven into the fabric of our cities. The contrast is jarring, forcing us to ask, how can a nation of such means allow so many to live without a home? How did we reach a point where luxury and desperation exist side by side, separated only by a few city blocks? America's story today is one of global spending set against domestic neglect, a narrative of choices made in power that shape lives on our streets. As we invest billions abroad, the needs of our own people often go unmet, and the consequences are visible everywhere. We must look beyond statistics and see the human faces of this crisis. Each person has a story, a past, and a hope for the future. Why is this happening, and what does it say about us as a society? Where are our resources going? What priorities guide our leaders, and what values do we truly hold as a nation? This isn't just a policy debate, it's a moral question about the soul of our nation. Are we willing to look honestly at the choices we make and the people those choices leave behind? The reality of homelessness is no longer hidden, it's a crisis we can't ignore. It's on our streets, in our neighborhoods, and in the eyes of those we pass every day. The American dream and the American struggle now stand side by side, challenging us to decide what kind of country we want to be. Which reality will define us? The answer is not just in our policies, but in our compassion, our choices, and our willingness to see every person as worthy of dignity and hope. America's homelessness crisis has reached record highs, over 771,000 people without a home on a single night, an 18% jump from last year. First-time homelessness is surging, up 23% since 2019, showing that economic pressures are pushing even stable families into crisis. The safety nets are stretched thin or gone, and homelessness now touches a broader segment of society. 64% of the homeless population lives in just 7 states, with California alone accounting for nearly 1 in 4. 2/3 of California's homeless are unsheltered, exposed to the elements and danger. This isn't slow change, it's a dramatic escalation. While migration plays a role, the core problem is a systemic failure to provide for our own citizens. These numbers aren't just statistics, they're hundreds of thousands of stories of loss and hardship. The crisis is national, urgent, and growing. America's promise is slipping through the cracks. What's driving this surge? A perfect storm of economic and social forces. At the core, a severe shortage of affordable housing. For every 100 extremely low-income renters, only 35 affordable units exist. Rents have soared 23% since 2001, while renter incomes rose just 5%. Millions now spend over half their income on rent, one crisis away from homelessness. The end of pandemic-era aid removed a critical lifeline, exposing deep economic instability and triggering a wave of evictions. Demographic shifts are stark. Families with children facing homelessness jumped 33% in a year, and people of color, especially black renters, are hit hardest. The crisis is not about one cause but a broken housing market and frayed safety nets. The result? More families, more seniors, more children without homes. This is a multifaceted emergency, not a temporary setback. America's housing system is failing its people. Behind every number is a person, a senior who worked all their life, now priced out by rising rents and forced to make impossible choices between food, medication, and shelter. These are people who once had homes, jobs, and families, now navigating a world that too often looks away. A child doing homework in a car, their future uncertain, their dreams shaped by the harsh reality of homelessness. For many children, the back seat of a car becomes a classroom, a bedroom, and a place to hope for something better. Older adults are the fastest-growing homeless group, projected to triple by 2030. Many are living with chronic health conditions, struggling to survive on fixed incomes that simply can't keep up with the cost of living. Families with children face trauma and instability that can last a lifetime. The stress of not knowing where you'll sleep each night leaves deep scars, affecting education, mental health, and the ability to build a stable future. Black Americans and people of color are disproportionately affected, a legacy of systemic discrimination and unequal access to housing, jobs, and healthcare. Generations have been impacted by policies that continue to shape who is most at risk. Gender-expansive individuals face unique barriers, with homelessness among this group rising over 600% since 2015. Many are rejected by family or face discrimination in shelters, making it even harder to find safety and support. These are not stories of personal failure, but of a system that leaves people behind. The reasons are complex: job loss, medical bills, domestic violence, or simply a lack of affordable housing. Veterans, foster youth, single parents, each story is a testament to a broken safety net. Many have served our country, aged out of care, or are raising children alone, yet still find themselves without a place to call home. Homelessness is not a distant problem. It's happening to our neighbors, our elders, our children. It's visible on city streets, in parks, and in the places we pass by every day. Their suffering is a direct result of choices we make as a society. Choices about housing, healthcare, and who gets help when they need it most. When we talk about homelessness, we're talking about real people, not statistics. Each face tells a story of resilience, hope, and the urgent need for change. The crisis is personal, urgent, and demands our attention. It's a call to action for all of us to look closer, listen, and respond with compassion. We must see the faces behind the numbers and remember that every story matters. Homelessness is now visible everywhere. Tents, shelters, and people in distress line the streets of America's most iconic cities. For tourists, the reality is a stark contrast to glossy travel images. For residents, it's a daily confrontation with suffering. Public spaces have become de facto shelters, straining resources and creating tension. Cities respond in different ways. Some clear encampments, pushing people out of sight but not solving the problem. Others try to build more shelters but can't keep up with demand. Enforcement-heavy approaches only displace the crisis, not resolve it. The result is a city at war with itself, torn between image and compassion. The crisis is overwhelming and solutions feel out of reach. America's sidewalks reveal a nation in distress, its social contract fraying. The problem is no longer hidden, it's in plain view, demanding action. As cities across the nation struggle with rising homelessness, a glaring contradiction emerges. America spends hundreds of billions of dollars each year on the military, yet allocates only a fraction of that amount to ending homelessness and supporting those in need. The defense budget now nears a staggering $1 trillion, funding advanced weaponry and overseas operations, while experts estimate that ending homelessness nationwide would require just tens of billions each year. A small fraction by comparison. Every dollar spent on foreign wars is a dollar not spent on affordable housing, mental health care, or addiction treatment at home. Veterans, who risk their lives serving abroad, often return to face homelessness, a bitter irony and a powerful symbol of misplaced priorities in our society. Targeted programs and outreach efforts have helped some veterans and individuals get back on their feet, but thousands of veterans and countless others remain on the streets, struggling to survive each day. The debate over funding isn't just an abstract policy discussion, it's a matter of life and death for many. We have the resources as a nation. What we lack is the collective will to prioritize the well-being of our own people over endless military spending. The choice before us is clear. Invest in proven solutions that lift people out of poverty and homelessness, or continue to let the crisis grow, with more lives lost and communities strained. Our national budget is more than numbers. It reflects our values and our vision for the future. The consequences of our choices are visible on every street, reminding us that the time to act is now. Homelessness is not unsolvable, we have proof. Veteran homelessness dropped 55% from 2009 to 2022, thanks to focused national efforts and the Housing First model. This approach, providing stable housing first then support, works for all populations, not just veterans. Permanent supportive housing keeps over 90% of residents housed and saves taxpayer money by reducing emergency service use. The evidence is clear. Investing in housing is smart, compassionate, and cost-effective. The problem isn't a lack of solutions but a lack of political will and sustained funding. When we make ending homelessness a priority, we see results. The question is, will we commit to these solutions for everyone? America stands at a crossroads. Our policy choices now will shape the future for hundreds of thousands. Evidence-based solutions like Housing First and increased funding for affordable housing are proven to work. Yet some push for punitive approaches, criminalizing homelessness, slashing funding for effective programs, and prioritizing temporary shelters over permanent solutions. These moves risk unraveling decades of progress and putting millions at risk. California's struggles show that funding alone isn't enough. Accountability and coordination are critical. The path we choose will determine whether we solve this crisis or deepen it. One direction leads to hope and stability, the other, to more suffering. The stakes could not be higher. We can't keep stepping over our own people while spending billions abroad. It's time to reevaluate our national priorities and ask, what kind of country do we want to be? This is a call to conscience for every American, not just politicians. It starts with empathy, seeing the homeless as people, not problems. Educate yourself, challenge false narratives, and talk about the crisis with those around you. Volunteer, donate, and most importantly, use your voice. Demand that elected officials invest in proven solutions, not policies that criminalize poverty. Your voice matters. Change begins with us. The future of our nation depends on how we answer this challenge. Will we invest in our own people or let the crisis grow? The path to a more just America starts with compassion and action. Let's choose to bring our people home.